the room and it's wonderful after 3 long years to be back here in Hyderabad. We were last here in 2019 and since then we've had a number of students come and be very successful with us at BPP. We're delighted you could all join us and I'm going to introduce myself and a little bit about BPP and what we do. So my name is Sarah McElroy and I'm the Dean of Higher Education at BPP University. My expertise and passion is working with international students, especially from India, students who want to come to the UK and take advantage of our very special courses to promote and encourage and develop their careers. So I'm delighted to be here to hopefully welcome many more students to our study centres in the UK. I'm now going to hand over to my colleague to introduce herself.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Sarah. Good evening, everybody. My name is Vicky Knight. I'm the Associate Dean for International Programs. I'm based in Singapore. So I guess that gives you an idea that BPP truly is a global place of learning. And I've been working with Sarah and the team here for some time to support our wonderful international students who come to our business school and to ensure that they get the qualifications that they need to set themselves up for their future careers. And I'll be saying a little bit more about that as we continue to answer your questions this evening. So thanks very much.
Hi everyone, my name is Khairul Alam. I'm the Recruitment Director of International at BPP. I've been working at BPP for nearly 23 years now. So I've also visited India many times. This is probably my 5th visit. And like Vicky said, the last time we've been here about 2 years ago, due to COVID, we were not able to travel. But we're here again, and we're delighted to be here. For the purpose of today's session, obviously we'll cover a lot on BPP, and Sarah and Vicky will highlight some of our main key points. And obviously you will have at the end some questions that you want to ask us, and we'll try our best to answer them. So I'll just pass on to Mohit, if you want to just say a few words, and then we'll start.
Hi, very good evening. My name is Mohit Gambhir. I am the Education Business Partner for BPP University in India. We started promoting BPP University back in 2010 and we've come a long way. Today I think we can proudly say that we are the second highest recruiter of students going to the UK from India, which is quite an achievement. We're honored to have Sarah and Vicky and Khairul with us today, who's going to talk to us more about the success story of BPP University and the roadmap ahead in the coming years. Thank you.
Okay, so I'd like to start by explaining the 2 main reasons why BPP University has been so successful in India to date. The first reason is that we have very deep collaborative relationships with our channel partners who are based here in India and who work directly with the students and advise and counsel them and recommend BPP. And this really wouldn't work without them. And this collaboration means that we develop the right programs for the students so that they know what they're expecting, and we really meet the needs of the students in India. We understand their aspirations and we understand what it is they're looking to achieve. The second reason, as Mohit said, we are the second largest recruiter of students from India into the UK at the moment, and I hope to grow significantly in the next 2 years. We really specialise in the business school in international students. We are mainly international, so any student coming to us can be really sure that we're going to look after them, their needs are going to be catered for, and they're going to have a great time in London or Manchester or Birmingham, where we're here to help them and educate them. The second area I wanted to cover was a little bit about how we've managed to sustain this growth even during COVID. as I said, we last came to visit India in 2019 and we had some fantastic events, and then obviously by March 2020 we were very concerned that students wouldn't be able to come to the UK, and we thought we were going to stop. We thought we were going to have to pause our recruitment and wait until everything was over. But we didn't want to do that because we had lots of applications in progress. So what we decided to do was start students studying online from home in India, with the idea that probably we thought COVID would last a few months at the most, and they would then be able to join us in the UK. As we all can see, that didn't happen, but the idea of starting studying online and then transitioning at a later point has really become the way that we operate now, and we offer more and more flexible starts, and we work with the students before they leave India so that when they do come, we know exactly where they need to be, what classes they need to go into, and we're tracking and working with them at every step of the way. We've also been able to develop new programs during COVID, because one of the benefits, I suppose, has been having a faculty who were based at home and were able to undertake more development and research. So we've brought out some fantastic new programs and launched them during COVID, things like data analytics, digital marketing, and our new BSc in digital business. So really, what we've done is transform as a result of COVID. We've used technology to connect with the students to be able to continue educating. And whilst we want them all to come in face-to-face now, and in the UK, COVID is broadly over, as in there aren't any restrictions, we expect technology to continue to play a part in all of our programs that we offer. I'm now going to hand over to my colleague Vicky, who's going to take a third area of discussion.
Thank you, Sarah. So I wanted to highlight that BPP considers itself to be the University of the Professions. So why is that? What does that mean? Well, first of all, unlike many of the universities in the UK, we're a private university. And that means that we focus on teaching rather than on academic research. So when we are doing research, it is research about the professions and about careers, not about PhDs. So we're really in tune with what's going on in the professions that we serve. Now, another thing to mention is that BPP University is part of a broader BPP education group. And the education group works with more than 7,000 businesses around the globe to develop and train their staff. And many of those businesses are global leading businesses whose names you would recognize, and we have exclusive contracts with them to train their staff. So that puts us close to business. We understand what businesses are looking for when they recruit. We understand what businesses are looking for when they upskill their staff. And we can take those relationships with businesses and feed that information into our courses and our course development. So, for example, we train students from 4 of the biggest global accountancy firms, 19 out of 20 top law firms, and 8 out of 10 of the world's biggest banks. All of that knowledge feeds into the experience that our university students can benefit from. Yes, thank you. It's an incredible statistic, isn't it? So not only are our students receiving the technical education they need, but it's so focused on what employers are really looking for. And one of those areas that I've been very engaged with over the last 2 or 3 years has been on the future skills agenda, and I'm going to be saying a little bit more about that to those students joining us later on. But Sarah and the team in the business school constantly are looking at those trends in future skills to ensure that we've captured that in our programs, whether it's in how we teach our programs, and whether it's what we teach or how we teach, so that our students are future-proof and ready to start their careers.
Thank you, Vicky. I'm now going to outline what support students from India could expect get if they come to study with us at BPP. I mean, firstly, you can see, for those of you who are here in the room, that the support on the ground here in India via our channel partners is immense. From that initial consultation of being interested in studying in the UK to the advice and support that students would get through their application is absolutely fantastic. And we are in touch with the teams here in India constantly, reviewing applications and providing support where we can. And as India is our primary market, we have very special arrangements in place to facilitate admissions as easily as possible. So, for example, we have special arrangements for assessing English. English is a key requirement to be able to get a study visa in the UK. We have to test it, but we have a specific way of doing it because we have deep relationships with our partners here in India. So we can make it as easy as possible, maybe for students who don't have an IELTS, for example. As students come through the process here in India and then sort of enroll in BPP, they'll then be contacted by our engagement team, who will work with the student before they leave India to make sure that they've got everything they need, to make sure that they know where they're coming, what they need to be doing, and basically, you know, we can solve any problems or any concerns. We know it's quite scary, possibly, travelling across the world to a big city that you haven't been to before, so we're here to help and we're here to welcome the students both virtually before they come, by email or by phone, and then in centre as soon as the students arrive. We encourage students to come in as soon as they can, and if they've got any problems or questions, we can help them. We're really concerned about where students are in the first few weeks as they settle in, so we like to look after them. We then know that the education system in India is quite different to the one in the UK, and we want to give our students time to adapt and learn the ways that we think students should learn to really accelerate that development. So Term 1 of our programmes offers a lot of additional classes and support for students, and we really encourage them to come into campus most days if they can and attend all of the classes and the additional events that we offer. It's really important that they take advantage of these. These are added benefits that we provide as part of our programmes. We have a very, very broad faculty in terms of experience and skills, but specifically we have a number of our faculty who have experience of living and working in India, and so really have that context again for advising our students for when they want to return home from a career perspective. We have faculty who can speak a number of languages and can really help with the students' confidence in those first few weeks, particularly if you haven't spoken English for a while. That's lovely, thank you. And overall, BPP sees students as its partners. We are not distant from our students. We are very close to our students. I would walk around our centres most weeks and chat to students, and if students have got problems, they can come and see us straight away. As an example, I had a group of students very recently who didn't think their timetable worked for them, and we were able to sort that problem out. In a lot of universities, I don't think that could happen because it's very big, it's very distant, but we're here on the ground to help with everything. So we absolutely love students from India. They absolutely make our campuses alive and vibrant, and we love helping them to develop their future careers.
Thanks, Sarah. Fantastic. So I wanted to touch next on what happens after the completion of study at BPP University. Do students have to come straight back home to India? Well, this is a really important question and something that we know students are very interested in understanding. So, the good news is that all students who successfully complete their program within the term of their initial study visa are eligible to apply for a graduate route visa, which enables them to remain in the UK for up to 2 years after they finish their studies. That's good news, right? Well, we know how important this is for students. Why? Because it gives them the opportunity to gain some really valuable work experience. That first job that sets them off on their careers, which helps them understand the workplace and what employers are looking for. And of course, it looks wonderful on their CV, so that when they do come home, they're able to show an employer that they have succeeded in the world of work internationally. And that is something that we know employers here are really interested in seeing. So a very, very important thing to understand that the UK post-study work visa program is open. But even more than that, we will support you through that whole process. So we've seen several hundred students successfully obtain graduate route visa since it began last July. The process is simple. Our teams are there to provide guidance and support, and also our wonderful careers service will help in finding those employment opportunities. It is important to just remind our students that they do have to complete their program of study on time in order to be eligible for that route. But it really is, we're delighted that the UK has reopened this for students from India, such an important way to begin your career and to launch yourself into an international workplace before you return home. Just another few words on employment and placement support. So I've already touched on the career service, and I think you'll see any feedback on BPP University always notes how fantastic our careers service are. So they're there for you from the very beginning of your studies right through to graduation and beyond. They will support you to match you to job opportunities and to help you with your career. But in addition to that, I did want to mention our fantastic 18-month version of our master's program, which includes a 6-month professional development option, which again, it supports you in doing things like building your resume, building your personal brand, and so on. So our aspiration is that students will leave us really in tune with what employers are looking for and able to demonstrate they have the skills that the world's top employers are looking for.
Okay, thank you, Vicky. So I think what we'd like to finish with is just some pieces of advice for students who are planning to apply to BPP University or to study in the UK. Some of the things to really think about. So the first thing that I would say to students is you are going to get a lot of support with your application here in India, but please write your application yourself. It's not a test, it's not an exam. What we need to see is what you want to do. We need to see why you want to come to BPP, what your aspirations are. So prepare everything yourself, and that's going to give us a really good insight into why you want to come and study in the UK.
Thank you, Sarah. So yes, number one, take your application seriously. Number two, I would say practice your English. Okay, when you come to the UK, you will hear different accents to the one that you're used to. There are amazing resources for you out there. You can listen to the BBC World Service, you can read English newspapers. It's really, really important to get yourself ready to start studying by doing all you can to practice your English. Listen for those different accents. Read how things are written in different types of publications, whether that's a newspaper or perhaps something more informal, because you too, of course, will be writing your assignments when you're doing your master's degree.
Okay, we're going to take some questions now.
If you have
Okay, does anybody in the audience have any questions? Don't be shy. Yes, we have somebody who's brave enough.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Any advice to Indian students aspiring to study in UK?
Could you repeat that? Sorry. So, advice.
Indian students aspiring to study in UK.
Yeah. So I think aspiring students. I mean, absolutely. The UK is fantastic for students from India. There are, I think, according to the statistics, 150,000 students came from India last year, even during the pandemic. Obviously, we've got a very rich and diverse culture, and you'll feel right at home. And what I always say to my students is, obviously, you know, take advantage of everything that the UK has to offer, but equally, if you come to BPP, take advantage of the fact that we are very focused on India, and you'll meet lots of friends from all parts of the country, and that'll be a great support to you. But we do really try to support you to enjoy your time in the UK. The more you get out and talk to people, the more your English will improve, and I think we all know how important English is for you know, your future work on the graduate route or beyond. So we really hope that if you study with us for 1 or 2 years, you will get a great, rich experience. The other thing I would say is you need to do everything on time. You need to study when your timetable says you need to study, and you need to submit your assessments when they are due. It makes everything so much easier if you follow the plan. If you get distracted and you don't follow the plan, it gets very difficult at the end of the course and very stressful. So, you know, starting out with some really good habits and enjoying studying with us, as well as everything that the UK has to offer, is what I would say. Vicky, anything to add?
Yes, I think I would just add, you know, you should think about your studies as the beginning of your career, not the end of your education, if that makes sense. You know, think about this as a professional. I think, echoing exactly what Sarah said, how important it is to take it seriously, do things on time, take your studies seriously, get the work done, and then enjoy yourself and go to the football matches or whatever it is you want to do. But there's lots